They aced every test. They were the smartest person in the room. But somehow they failed. In business, in relationships, in life. How does this happen? We've always been told that being smart is the ticket to success. But what if that's a lie? What if the very thing that makes someone intelligent is also what sets them up for failure? Today, we're diving deep into why the brightest minds often fall the hardest and what it truly takes to succeed. Let's start by busting a huge myth, the myth of intelligence. Our society, especially our education system, worships IQ. We're taught from a young age that good grades equal a good future. But that's a dangerously false equation. Think about it, intelligence isn't the same as wisdom, resilience, or emotional awareness. You can have a genius-level IQ and still be terrible at managing your emotions, connecting with people, or bouncing back from a setback. This creates the smart person paradox. Your intelligence helps you solve complex problems, but it can also help you invent new ones through overthinking. You become so good at seeing all the potential pitfalls that you end up hesitating, stuck in a loop of what-ifs, while others just take action. This leads us to the psychological traps that smart people constantly fall into. First step is perfectionism. The fear of not being perfect, of making a mistake, is so paralyzing that it leads to endless procrastination. You'd rather not do something at all than do it imperfectly. Then there's overanalysis, or paralysis by analysis. You spend so much time thinking, planning, and researching that you never actually start doing asterisk. Thinking becomes a substitute for action. Another huge trap is tying your entire identity to being smart and being right. When your self-worth is linked to your intellect, any challenge to your ideas feels like a personal attack. This makes it incredibly difficult to admit you're wrong, learn from others, or pivot when things aren't working. This often leads to isolation. You might feel misunderstood or fear judgment, so you retreat, cutting yourself off from the collaborative energy and feedback that's essential for growth. And finally, there's the Dunning-Kruger flip. While people with low ability tend to overestimate it, highly intelligent people often do the opposite. They doubt themselves constantly. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know, which can cripple your confidence. History is filled with brilliant people who stumbled. Look at Nikola Tesla, a true genius inventor who changed the world, but he was a terrible businessman and died in relative obscurity. His intelligence in science didn't translate to financial or social success. On the flip side, you have someone like Elizabeth Holmes of Toronto. She was undeniably intelligent, but her intelligence lacked ethics and wisdom, leading to one of the biggest frauds in recent history. It's a stark reminder that intellect without a moral compass is dangerous. And we see this every day on a smaller scale. The straightest student who is terrified to take a risk after graduation, or the brilliant startup founder who burns out because they're too overconfident to listen to their team. Their intelligence became their biggest blind spot. So if IQ isn't the key, what is? What are the missing skills that actually drive success? First and foremost is emotional intelligence, or EQ. It has the ability to understand and manage your own emotions and to recognize and influence the emotions of others. Next is adaptability and humility. The world changes fast, and the willingness to unlearn what you know and adapt is far more valuable than raw brain power. This ties into risk tolerance. Success almost always involves taking calculated risks, something that perfectionists and overanalyzers struggle with. It's also about consistency over intensity. You don't need to be a genius working 20 hours a day. Small, consistent efforts over time almost always win. And finally, communication and teamwork. You can be the smartest person in the world, but if you can't communicate your ideas or work with others, your brilliance is trapped in your own head. There's a fascinating neuroscience insight here. The prefrontal cortex, the smart part of our brain, loves order and control. The real growth, innovation, and learning happen in the messy, unpredictable world of chaos. So how do we fix this? How can we harness our intelligence without letting it sabotage us? It starts with a mindset shift. First, redefine success. Stop seeing it as a way to prove how smart you are and start seeing it as an opportunity to learn. Second, embrace failure as feedback. Every mistake is just data telling you what to do differently next time. Third, build your execution muscle. Ideas are worthless without action. Start small, finish projects, and build momentum. Practice doing, not just thinking. Fourth, practice humility. Actively seek out and learn from people who are different from you, even those you might consider less smart. Everyone has something to teach you. And finally, reconnect your intellect with your emotions and your actions. True wisdom isn't just about knowing things. It's about feeling, doing, and connecting. Remember, being smart is a gift, but being wise is a choice. So maybe the real question isn't why do smart people fail, but why do we, as a society, still think intelligence is all that matters? Maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. Intelligence opens the door, but it's humility, resilience, and action that walk through it. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the way you think. See you in the next one.